Namaste. Guruji says ecology offers silent ways to grow spiritually. Darpan Foundation invites you to Upanishad with Guruji Sri Nand Kishore Tiwari, propounder Sahasmriti Yoga, and Sri Kishore Kumar Ji, actor, natural farmer, and eco-activist. India has always been a land of seekers with a tradition of asking questions, and questions have always been encouraged. The word Upanishad is made up of two words, Upa and Nishad, meaning sitting beside Guru. Traditionally, seekers looking for knowledge would sit beside Guru and ask their questions, and that is the very essence of our Upanishads. Guruji Srinand Kishore Tiwari propounded Sahasmriti Yoga system of self-realization along with Sahasmriti Kriya, an absolutely effortless method to explore unexplored dimensions of one's existence. A path easy to follow along with the busy family life. Guruji established the Universal Forum for Human Dignity in the year 2002 and founded Darpan Sahasmriti Yoga Ashram at Oregon in 2018. Under Guruji's guidance, Darpan Foundation also works in the areas of sustainable living, education, conservation of nature, health, sanitation, and enabling senior citizens to meaningfully contribute to society. Through our various social transformation projects, we have touched the lives of 2000 plus students, 4000 plus villages, and 11 schools. Our host, Sri Kishore Ji, is an acclaimed film actor who is popular for his roles in Kannada, Tamil, Telugu, and Malayalam cinema. Sri Kishore Ji is a versatile actor and has been bestowed with several awards and nominations. To name a few, Karnataka State Award for Best Supporting Actor for Kanti and Rakshasa 2004, Vijay Award for Best Villain 2007 for Polladhavan. Kishore Ji is also known to be a natural farmer and an eco-activist. Belonging to a family of farmers, he understands the significance of farming, of giving back to nature, and maintaining the ecological balance. And true to that, Kishore Ji spends a lot of time working at his farm in Karyapana Dordi village, located on the periphery of the Banilkatta National Park. At the farm, Kishore Ji is developing community farming to encourage indigenous food varieties and to reduce migration of farmers to the cities. Before handing over to our host, Sri Kishore Ji, I request Guruji to say a few words.
Om Gurave Namaha. Welcome to you all in today's Upanishad. The subject ecology and spirituality. So ecology is, as you all know, study or process between biotic and abiotic. And spirituality is looking at life from real perspective. So this is, in ecology we learn through senses and try to reach to the reality. In spirituality, from reality we come down to senses and do what needs to be done. So both processes are there for the knowledge. Relationship is like that. So today with Kishore Ji we will explore strands of this relationship between ecology and spirituality. I request all of you to be attentive when you are giving your time. It should be fruitful to you. So when you are giving it, give it 100%. And let us hope that something wonderful comes out of this conversation, and conversation transcends into satsang. That is life for me. Yes, Marunji.
Thank you, Guruji. Sri Kishore Ji, over to you.
That's good. So I was just wondering, as a common man, how do I connect these two things, spirituality and ecology?
See, in ecology we are seeing that now so many branches are coming in ecology. Now there is music ecology, there is sound ecology, so many. But in simple terms, it is the environment in which we are living, and we are taking intake from that. And we, being a most conscious being, are capable of giving it back in certain way. So if we begin to learn this clearly, how, what way we should take intake, and what way we should give it back. If we learn these two things, then our relationship between spirituality and ecology will be clearer for us. So, intakes, we have to say all five senses we have. Through them we are what, how we should see, what we want to see, what we should eat, what we should hear, what kind of things we should touch and transform. So all through all senses, and what observations we are making out of that. So that becomes your knowledge. So one way is going through senses. Our knowledge, whichever we call knowledge, it is coming through our senses only. So that knowledge, when it reaches to a certain stage, then it transforms into the spiritual knowledge that we cannot communicate, but we can realize. So that is why it is experiential. But some experiences sense also give, but they lead to certain. So this is how it should be understood, that how to take pure things. So taste and choice. What we take, what should be our taste, how to cultivate it, and what is our choice. So this, if we understand properly, then we understand the relationship between ecology and spirituality.
They call India as a land of farmers. So for me, ecology is something which is around us, and being in a land where farmers, being in a nation which is called a farmers nation, so farmers become very important keepers of environment and ecology as it is. So what do you say to those farmers? Now, you, as you said, it actually meant the same thing, but in simpler words, how can we communicate to the farmers that they are the protectors of this environment and ecology, and how do they consume it and how do they give it back?
So farmers currently, as you very well put it, and because you are so much active in that field, you know their real pain. Now they are suffering on two counts. First is their dignity is at stake. They are givers, but we are making them feel as if they are takers. They are dependent on us. So first thing, people like you who are, despite having such a successful and wonderful career, going back to the land and giving that, no, this is doable, this should be done. So that dignity, giving dignity back to them. Then what knowledge they have traditional knowledge with them, what crops they used to cultivate. Now under compulsion, they are putting chemicals and they get caught into that web of debt, and that leads to so many unfortunate situations. So first thing is give them their dignity back. That this is a dignified profession, you are givers. Now, without making them financially sustainable, it is difficult to uphold to that dignity. So we have to, as people like you who are coming into this and becoming catalysts for that and inspiring models for them and for the whole society, that please value those farmers who are trying their best to produce pure. Consume that only, even if it is coming you at a little extra cost. So that will save your hospital bills. So is it not better to put your money where your life becomes harmonious and the one who is trying to give you a better life, his life also becomes good, better. So to begin with, we have to maintain this dialogue, because without narrative being strong, people become shaky because they do not know. For years they have been, generations they have been doing in certain way. So they are caught into that. So when you go with a new knowledge and a contemporary language with a narrative, and then you tell them, look, you have value, but certain changes are need to be made according to the time. So this knowledge through credible persons like you, where they can trust farmers that if this person is saying something, let me experiment it, and then when they follow that path and they become financially sustainable. Few role models are created and few consumers are created in the city, like the fellow back is doing. So then you have a marriage of good things. So they need dignity and a process through which they can be financially capable to sustain that. Yes, we need to tell them that go steady because that is what we want to teach them. So we give them dignity and find them that your produce have a place in the consumer, and certain this consumer word is so misleading because we have different words for the upabhogata.
Yeah.
That means it is not the primary thing. Upabhogta. You are not bhogta, upabhogta. That for survival you need something.
Yeah.
And if that is pure, then it is good. So both way this marriage happens.
Yeah.
So this catalyzing is needed.
Yeah, as you rightly said, upabhogta.
Yeah.
We have converted into only bhoga because consumerism preaches only bhoga. We just keep consuming things. And in such an economy where money becomes very important, what role does spirituality play? I'm just speaking from a farmer's viewpoint because today I believe that he is the one who can make or break things. Because with yesterday the Karnataka government came up with an ordinance abolishing the Land Reforms Act. So that will lead to a lot of problems. That's what I see as a farmer because it will put lands into everybody's hands. Initially, it was forcibly kept with small farmers and farmers. So now it will be snatched away easily, but by just giving money. So in this consumeristic world where money is so important, how can a farmer withstand all that attraction, allure, and everything? And what role does spirituality play?
Very, very well put it, and that's what we are saying. We are saying that you are made of 4 things in spirituality. That is body, mind, self, and soul. So this part, how to make them that concerned with self, that their character we have to make such strong, and that is possible only through spirituality. Mind my words. Until you come to know who you are, you can't stay strong on your ground. You can't stay your ground. Say hold the ground. That means when you can hold the ground, when you know who you really are, what your power is. So when you are clear about that, and that happens through spirituality, because spirituality is your anatomy, real anatomy, which tells who you are and that you are capable of seeing. You become evidence of that. So any kind of coaching, any kind of brainwashing, that will not work on you.
Yeah.
So spirituality helps in that way. And farmers, because they are so close to nature, every moment they are into touch with life and non-life. So they know how it works. Only thing is some credibly giving them the clarity which they can experience, and they become strong in their character. Once they become strong in character, such things that if some law has come, laws are made and they are again can be treated according. So if they are strong and clear, that is what we are looking for. So that is what transformation is possible through spirituality, not by any religion or anything. Only spirituality. It is possible, and that will be real. That is why another word for spirituality we say reality.
Yeah.
That you become evidence. Now nothing outside is needed.
Yes.
So that will be the beginning for them in a good thing.
Yes. Yeah. For a farmer, understanding himself and understanding his worth is what you say is very important. In earlier days, they used to use symbols to actually spirituality was connected to religions. Though it was connected to religions, I still believe in all these what we call acharani in Kannada. All these procedures that they used to do and all these gods that they made. And this was a question from a friend who actually asked this question to me. So when we used those symbols, it was quite effective. Though they did not understand the gist of it and the intention behind it, they just worship. We Indians worship all animals and almost all plants. We have some belief attached to it. So how does this belief system work, and does it work even now, and can we use it even now?
I got it. See, this is very simple. Spiritually looking at it, this whole what we call existence, it's a pure consciousness. Now, a scientist, J.C. Bose, unfortunately he passed away while he was at work. He proved beyond any doubt that plants have life. They experience pain and pleasure, they become sad, they become happy. This is all there. Now, he next move of his was to prove that even metals have life. And he has made an experiment and it was proven. Then the cyanide was given to the metal, it shivered. So next, slowly, he was just going to give this evidence, this whole creation is consciousness, only amount or volume is varying. In plants it is something, in stone it is little less, and that way, and human it is maximum. So this, when you say symbols, they are not mere symbols. They are connecting, there's a device which we call Kriya. So there, this has been there in their genes from eons. So that connection will let themselves through to certain sort of leave themselves open and become in a worshipful mode. Then that consciousness gets connected to one another. And consciousness is making everything happen. So they say, oh, this is because of the symbol it is working. It is because of the consciousness. So those sacred symbols, those should be saved. Because behind them, otherwise you will forget. If you have not given anything as a form, and some new person come, at least you ask your friend, ask this question. Otherwise, if there was no symbol, you will be groping how to put a question across. So this consciousness is behind, and spirituality is that reality which tells you how this consciousness is working through whole universe. So those symbols definitely have meaning, but it is because consciousness is there behind them. And then according to the local culture, they made some certain things, same thing to achieve the same result. In one location something else is done according to the ecology and everything taken into consideration. Yes. To achieve the same result, something else is done in another locality.
Yes.
So this is how it is whole, but it is variegated.
And is it, we were talking about symbols. I've heard in Tamil Nadu, they have, next to every tank, there is a Muthumariyamman temple. Muthumariyamman is water, the goddess of water. And if you save Muthumariyamman and to keep her there, you have to protect the tank, and then she will give you water. This is their belief. This belief, without the knowledge actually behind it. So it is being passed on from generation to generation. So as my question is it does it work if we give the knowledge also along with that, and does it like from generation to generation, will it be passed on? Because right now we have been just passing on traditions, and only the practices are left, and the justice and the soul of it is gone. So how do we pass on? Do you have any solution?
Very good question. See, this is the question about ritual and tradition.
Yep.
When a thing becomes ritual and when it is a tradition. Tradition, parampara is life thing.
Yep.
When we forget this knowledge behind it, that what is this knowledge running behind it, then it becomes mere ritual. Now, because the trust is there, so something is working, but it should be other way around. You pass on the knowledge and then say, this is how this ritual is covering this knowledge beneath it. Like we say, no, this Shivlinga we made, a very common sight everywhere. But what is this called Jyotirlinga? It is reflecting that it is a Jyotir, it is a symbol. How you make a symbol of a Jyotir? Something you have to symbolize. So the symbol is there, but it is not. So then people devise over the period of time, different kind of things happen. That's some Shivlinga has some Ayurvedic value, something different kinds of decay. So that is not limited to that. Beneath that is you keep discovering, you find Jyoti. That is your reality. Illuminance, light, enlightenment, whatever you want to call. So this knowledge, it should definitely be given in current language, because this is where the problem is.
Yeah.
So communication in current times, articulating it according to the present times, this is our responsibility. and keeping those symbols preserved with this knowledge. That it is not for nothing that these symbols are there.
Yes.
There is deep knowledge behind them, and something superfluous over the period of time comes because of the vested interest.
Yes.
That also is removed when you bring the consciousness.
Yes.
That's how.
And why do you think it was? It is a controversial question, but why do you think it was not passed on? The knowledge was not passed on, and a lot of traditions and symbols were destroyed. Like
See, knowledge requires some sadhana. If you give a primary kid what a PhD student is capable of understanding, he will not understand.
yes,
So this thing happens because of the various kinds of this land which we call Bharat. Here, this is Bharat, word itself means Bha means Prakash, light, Rat means immersed.
yes,
So Bharat means it was immersed in light, that is the meaning. So that is the land which we belong to. That's why we are very proud to be in this land, that this is the land of seekers, this is the land of saints and seers. So when the invasions happens and locally also certain vices developed, and those all vices have two things behind it, inertia and doubt. It should not have. So people, when they could not become capable of upholding that knowledge, everybody could not go to the Gurukul, everybody could not become Brahmagyani, so that could not be passed on. I don't think that any knowledgeable person can be called any knowledgeable when he is not ready to give the whole to anybody who is capable of upholding. So from Guru we can't never say that they made a mistake. Then there is no Guru.
yeah,
So they have to give the whole, but we have to be worthy to receive it.
yeah,
So this is because of the unworthiness of ourselves. We did not reach that, so this could not stay as it should have. Now again efforts are being made with new knowledge that we reach to the same position where our knowledge we glorify across the world because it is humanity's knowledge.
yes.
It is so. This
That
is
should be passed on. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Nice. But in such a scenario, even in those days, political will mattered a lot. So passing of knowledge also depended on political will, and a political will influenced that knowledge, the passing on of the knowledge. And today also it is there.
Yes.
Now it's, I think it's more prevalent with these knowledge centers becoming power centers also.
Yes.
So, what would you say about that?
See, this is true. You are saying it politics. That's right, because politics is a way to go to the power and exercise this power for the welfare of all. So, political awareness definitely needed. But more than political awareness, it is the characters. Because irrespective of the political party, what should be, I'm not saying everybody is doing it, what should be the goal of a ruler? Welfare of the people.
Yes.
Welfare comes from the knowledge,
Yes.
from the clarity. So that means anybody they see this person will do better job. He appears to be, or this party appears to be giving us better deal.
Yes.
So they go for that. So if human being is not corrupted by political party, that despite knowing, when you make a party, what happens generally? If there is some mistake is happening, that also is tried to be hide. They don't come openly, no, we made a mistake, we don't want to make it. Then public's trust you have. So this should be clear to common people. When common people are knowledgeable, then they will tell clearly, whosoever the rulers may be, no, this thing you are not doing correct. So to minimize that corruption, public has to be aware and it has to be non-partisan. So that power center should go according to the knowledge, not the political ideology. When the ideology comes, then problem becomes. Because ideology means something other than real. Real thing means you are for the welfare of the people. Why are you imposing an idea on us which is not ours? Why we need welfare? You can say we people organize this way and we will deliver better on these counts. Keep those counts. Why you need to say no, you follow my ideology? So that is subjugation. So when people are capable of differentiating between knowledge and ideology, then this thing can be removed. Till then, yes, those who are catalysts, those who are aware, they need to be credible, and that is where again we say spirituality. When the character formation is there, that you know you are doing the thing. Now, at least you are convinced about yourself that what I am doing, I have no question about it. So that clarity when we have, then that is called character building. And then we are open for knowledge all the time, because you are an open person, what is coming. So opinion, ideology versus real knowledge. If this is put in right perspective, then such problems will be solved.
Why I asked that question was I was really surprised the way, just like the olden days, all these people in power turned to people with knowledge, the Swamijis and Sadhus, for either for guidance or I don't know, is it for guidance or is it for the people power? Because people turn to Swamijis and Sadhus and Gurus for knowledge. So they are under their influence, and to influence those people, do they turn to the Gurus? I really don't know. That's why I asked.
Yes.
It was an interesting answer, because awareness, when the Guru is aware, when the knowledgeable person is aware, he is aware of the intentions of that person also, and the intentions of these people also, and he has to be more credible, and he has to be more conscious to handle both. I think, nice. And in current scenario, that's what again comes to, because ecology is indirectly connected to all this politics and everything, because those are the rule makers, and now they have made a rule like this, and they keep making rules like that. So as a farmer, I asked a few questions, and as an actor, being in a medium which is so powerful, which can reach and which can be documented and which can stay for a very long time, what would you suggest people in the media to actually maintain this balance between ecology? Ecology is, again, as you said, it is everything. It's awareness about ecology that's important for us to survive. So what would you suggest such people, because they are also very influential people, and how do you bring them into the same circle of spirituality?
Yes. See, creativity as a very valued attribute of a human being. If we are creatively involved all the time, then most of the vices slowly will automatically go. But if you mix your art with ideology, you think you are convinced this ideology may be good, but it is somebody who is trying to reach to the real knowledge, then he is at a loss. So if creative people in media, those who are making films, doing drama, they become apolitical, then they have found the right path, because they are corrupting their art. What they may be morally right for as an individual, that no, this is my ideology, what is wrong if I am propagating it through my art? There is a wrong, because you are using human element into this. You are trying to casual people into something which is not real, which is your opinion, your minds. We say no, everything is a construct, including mind. Reality is beyond all this. So if artists become aligned to the reality, that my role is to make human being experience the ecstasy, experience the joy, get connected with each other, or explore how they are connected with each other. So their art, if it becomes medium for human excellence, human joy, unity, only human values, then it is such indications, such symbols they create, then they open another door for humanity. If they keep utilizing it for their own opinions and ideologies, then they are unfortunately creating boundaries between the people, which is not the role of the art. See, one example comes to my mind. There was this movie, Rockstar or something. There was a scene into this. This new boy is struggling with his music. Suddenly he goes to some place, and there comes an old artist. He simply looks at it and something surreal happens to it. Now only art can show this. So then indication you are saying is different. that there is a possibility, so much possibility,
Yeah.
how communication happens, how one person is touched by another. This way, if you use art, that you enhance your capabilities, become a better human being, contribute more. That way, art can help us if they are apolitical, opinionated, meant only for human excellence and joy, pure joy.
But being in this world, facing these issues and problems every day and doing what I'm doing, for example, me, I'm doing farming because my experiences come out of all these things. So, inevitably, there will be a reflection of all this in my work,
Yes.
whatever I do. So, these issues will be there, these problems will be there. How do you avoid that? How do you be like, this is being political.
Yes.
So I have an ideology, I have an idea, I have an opinion. I say all that through my films.
Okay.
So, but it doesn't judge anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely, I voice my opinion through because I use it as a medium
Mhm.
to express.
Mm-hmm.
So, because artists believe that the medium is an expression. It's a medium of expression.
Mhm.
Whatever medium they use. So how do you?
Yes. So we are a product in the making all the time.
Mhm.
As a human being,
Yeah.
say we all whole life we learn.
Yeah.
Today you know something and you are expressing it through your art, and we have freedom of expression. So when you are doing something from your heart, knowing it to be the truth, tomorrow something happens to your heart and you realize
Yeah.
that no, what I was doing was little less, I have something. But that time you should have courage and conviction to say what I have been saying till now
Yeah.
was not correct. There have been such very rare examples even among academicians.
Yes.
At the age of 82, I personally know somebody I met. Till 82, he was following certain Bad. And 82, he had the courage. He said, all my life, I have been doing wrong. And by then, he had become a legend. But he has the courage to say, what I have been doing was not correct. Now, the ones who followed his ideology, they started scolding him, calling him names. He has gone senile in the world. He said, what to say about this? Because there's the Gandhi said,
Yeah.
that what I am speaking today is truth, but tomorrow what I will speak, that will be truth if you are trusting me.
Definitely.
That means he is ready and open that what comes to me. He may be wrong. So many counts we find him wrong.
Yeah.
It is not that, it is not to. We find so many leaders on wrong that today we judge them. But that was there. So if heart progresses and it has that courage, that is what correct. That I have been expressing so far, right? But now I know it. Please forgive me if it was. But that time also I was true, and this time also I am true. So that is called, because you are, once you come to know, that is the power of spirituality. That every karma of your is making your destiny. Every choice you make, this is going to create certain way. This will happen. So everybody is free, but they should be open, and then they can be free. So they will not feel any guilt about the art. That today, otherwise they look at askance that am I doing something wrong? Then that will reflect on their art. So whatever, whenever they are doing, they are artists, creative people, soft people. They should be 100% open, and they should. That is their job. Communicate better, so other people also get this.
Yeah, that's what even I keep telling people who ask me for opinions. My opinion today can be different tomorrow. We all are dynamic and we are all are open to experiences. And I was thinking about just when you were telling about being dynamic, Masanobu Fukuoka came to my mind, and he once has written somewhere. I think he mentioned it everywhere. I think they practice. He actually correlates farming and spirituality, and he thinks it is a spiritual way of living. Farming is a spiritual way of living, and he mentions two sects in that. He was a Buddhist, so Hinayana and Mahayana. He says Hinayana is the farming that we do with an aim or with an intention to grow something, to get something from that. Mahayana is a way of just living it. So I just want to listen to you on it.
See, when you name somebody, then it becomes little
Yeah, difficult. Yes.
So you have to say the life process, then you'll get your answer. So that he himself had an experience. He fell on, and that you know the story, and he realized it. Now, once you realize something, then you want to find some symbol, and it is your destiny whom you find. So he had to express something, and he said, "Who is the precursor?" So whatever his everybody's destiny is, what their previous karma is, according to they are connected into the next karma, next life. They recognize, then they progress beyond that. So these are all religion specific things. But what is happening in life is this, that irrespective of any religion, you see what is real here.
Yeah.
So you are saying farming when you say, yes, it is, because now we are many. So everybody if needs food, then we have no other way but to farm. So if we go back to that, then it will lead us to hunting and food gathering. So nobody would say, no, you should go. What we can say, go with economy, that you produce pure. So today the way forward is only this, that yes, certain way you can mix both. That if you grow trees, fruity trees, those giving very many fruits, good fruits, that you mix and match with cropping. So then we become open to eat fruits more, local fruits, and fruits are good for health, human health. They are good for your digestive system, they are good, it's because they are life.
Yep.
So life, giving life, fresh life, it becomes more. So if we make certain selection this way, so that will solve our real problem. So that way, we will be free from religious this thing. We should not see from any religious angle. We should progress as a real person and see how it is. Because any lens if we are having from outside, lens having means you want some effect of the lens.
Yeah.
So that will impart. So we should be very free from everything and see in real life what is happening here and now. Am I becoming evidence of my own knowledge? Then you are free from all these things. So we should see that what is the current scene, that we need both to mix, even in that sense which you are saying. Living and doing, because this time the need of it. See, we say people who we call them, say, kind of enlightenment or whatever word you want, those who are doing things which are essential, need-based. Need-based means that is a kind of universal cause, that this is good for all at this point of time on earth. So that mixes, this kind of mix is what is relevant.
Yeah. Whatever the name of the religion they took, it's finally this is the awareness that you are talking about is what they, I think. And because I'm a student of literature also, I could suddenly recall the 12th century Sharana also, like Basavana told. He said work is worship. So there was a direct linking of spirituality and work, spirituality and whatever they did, because everybody joined him and everybody left the caste symbols and they grouped together, they became Sharanas. I just would love to have your take on it. Listen to your take on it.
So if you look at the Sannyas history, at that time also, when he left the place, we are talking about Basavana?
Basavana,
Yes. So at time, if you look the way the narration comes to us.
Because Basavana was more socially active.
Yes.
And he was a social reformer too, so
And
that's why I took his name.
yes.
Otherwise, all Sharanas have had great
Yes.
contribution to the society. Yeah.
So he, marriage when he arranged between the two, that marriage happened, but we know the repercussions also. Now there will be from this side you read somebody who is saying from their caste and this thing when comes to play knowledge gets. That again is opinion.
Yeah.
So instead of going from that, because we have seen that people are not ready. Our role is to make people ready. See, the way any religion comes, that becomes a religion. It is just some person found out some way to live at that point of time, and then when they start following it as a religion, they forget that its relevance is over now. It needs to re-transform itself, reinvent itself to find those teachings. And what are the teachings? Teachings of life. who you are and how you should live. So every time when we are trying to connect to any root, yes, for our own Gaurav, that always this tradition has been there, people have been seekers here, and they try to find answers independently without any dogma. That is what Basava was doing. That no one, because he was also initiated when he was a small child, his guru came and initiated him. So he is not saying that I am against parampara. He is saying what is relevant today.
Yeah.
And he own his whatever his understanding it, people were convinced to a large extent, yeah, this is true. And this is when some kind of vices develop in society. Because you are a free soul. You don't want to be contained by anything. This is your real nature.
Yeah.
So anything is coming to capture it, you want that freedom, the liberation. No, I'm not for it. But when you compromise, and then to the third person story turns out to be something else, then the narrative changes. So if you are strong and clear that this is my, okay, you can relate it to Basava, you can relate it to Buddhism, you can relate it to anybody.
Yeah.
But this is my truth here and now.
Yes.
So whatever way you want to see the trail, you see. But here and now is important. So if we are clear that no, we want to go to the real knowledge,
Yes.
no lens will work on us.
Yes.
And if any lens is working on us, that means our conviction is not clear. Our determination, sankalpa, to reach to the reality is not there.
Yes.
So we have to work that way.
Yes. Yeah, not take the names, but to keep the conversation going. We have been taking names, and this brings to my mind Gandhiji also. I've been to his tomb, and where on a stone they have written Khudai Raj. And they have written about what Gandhiji thought about Khudai Raj. And people just don't look at it at all. They just go around this thing and they come back, they sit on that stone and change their shoes and wear their chappals and they go off. So what you were telling was very similar to what Gandhiji told after going through all the political philosophies and everything. He finally came up with Khudai Raj. So everybody can rule themselves.
Yes.
So that is wonderful. That is fantastic.
So this is how language happens. Now Khudai Raj, if it is Urdu, Khuda means thou, you, Khud, self.
Yeah.
Khudai Raj.
Yeah.
Then if you say it in English, it becomes kingdom of God. Inside, because they are referring, but what they are referring by God, there may be some controversy about it. But we are saying self-rule. And if you say it in a traditional way, we say it becomes Ramraj, because they are saying Ram is your soul, nothing.
Yes.
So, language also makes this kind of difference, which is not there. But what simply means is that what you are saying, that it is your own self-rule, that have you become capable of seeing things as they really are? Have you that self-control, that even if the whole world is saying this is not right, but if you are clear that this is it, simply you are putting your thing across, that this is how it is. If it is truth, so that is how the Gandhi's way of telling it was. How much he could follow that, let us leave it to everybody should do study according, because this is not good to call names to the big people.
Yeah.
So, we say what is good there. Anybody, the purpose is anywhere you find something good, take it. Take it in your personality if it is good. Rest you leave it. Everybody is a human being, they make mistakes. So if you have become capable to rule yourself, that I will not go wrong. So Gandhi's own statement is like that, God is truth, but before that, truth is God. So he's saying, I am trying to follow my truth.
Yes.
What is my truth?
Yes.
And when he was asked about the freedom, and this was a very this thing, that freedom or Ram, he says, I will choose Ram. So something, Ram, truth, words maybe, when we say now, they say, oh, we are speaking. So very beginning we have made it clear, we are not speaking about religions. We have to, but words, for people, somebody says, no, the moment you say Ram, you Hindu. The moment you say Christ, you Christian. The moment you say Allah, you Muslim. This is your problem, who is seeing.
Yes.
It's not our problem. So open person is only a spiritual person. That we are open for humanity, that human excellence happens. And that happens when you are clear that I want to get to the truth. I want to become my own evidence. And such is the future of the world, where no such boundaries are going to last after some time. They are for the sake of what you call practical adjustment.
Yes.
Otherwise, this I am seeing this coming, that people are opening up to the reality. They want to see what is truth without any lens. With respect, okay, our ancestors left some legacy of seeking. That is why we are capable of speaking and making a conversation. Otherwise, how will we, there is no base. So we should take that as base, and then we should move on with our own agenda.
And when that base is very strong,
Yeah.
how do you think there will be a connect? Because I believe in, because as a farmer, I think the local practice is very important, because farming is a very local activity,
Yes.
and which happens in a very local environment. Because what is it, as you said, what is right for me, what practice is right for me will not be right for a farmer who's 200 kilometers away from me. So to keep those that tradition alive, I have to be very grounded, very local.
Okay.
So being local, that was the dilemma that we had when we used to study long back, study about Kuempu, our poet, who actually first put forward the idea of Vishwamanava.
Okay.
So he wanted to surpass all boundaries, and he has a very nice poem that I was teaching my sons, and that poem only. Onanna Chetana Aguni Aniketana. He says, says to his spirit, you become to everyone's spirit who sings that song. To may become Aniketana and Eliyu Niladiru, Anayanendu Kattadiru. He says, I used to wonder why he's telling us not to build a home. It's okay to build a home. So, what I'm telling is, being grounded, being local, being stuck to these traditions, because they are the right things to do for me. How do we connect this to spirituality, which connects everyone?
Yes.
So it's like globalization against localization.
Right. So we have to see, when we say in spirituality, we are seeing in totality. Spiritually, when we look at, you are not one person, you are 16 person, a 16-story building, 16 identities you have. So one of that identity is that of your body. So for body, definitely local tradition, local food, local language. Everything local is good for body. Except for some medicinal purpose, when something has gone wrong, then you try to incorporate some element from somewhere they will come and tell that if you take this jalvayu, then it will be fine.
Yes.
So some element is like, you know it very well, that one plant needs some nitrogen, another is supplying it.
Like Hanuman brought Sanjeevani
Yes.
from Sri Lanka. Yeah.
So that way, when you see that, so that is the limitation of being local. Once you have taken care of local, bodily local, now you are universal. Now you can no there is no boundary that you cannot read Vasvanna, you cannot read Tagore, you can't read Rishi's years of the. Then you will find there is a unity. Then the word Aniket you will discover entirely different meaning. That he is in fact telling, not make this body as you are ultimately a consciousness. Why are you putting locally that this body is local?
Yes.
So then, but this body is local. It suits better to it that if you eat local.
Yes.
And if you speak in your mother tongue, it feels good. You get a connect automatically. So this communication of vibration is happening all the time. It's a modern ecology. Now the scientists they'll discover, which we called it Shruti.
Yeah.
The same idea which you are saying, it is in Vedas. Ano kratava yantu vishvata. Let the noble thoughts come to me from all sides.
Yes.
What is Vishwamanava rather than that?
Yes.
That there is no boundary. It is not even speaking of earth.
Yeah.
From all sides.
Yes.
So it's open to universes, not even universe. That multiverses concept is there. So even now scientists are discovering the same thing, that the things like carbon and such elements, they are not from this earth. You are speaking only Panchatattva. There are even bhutas which are beyond your something of stars in you.
Yeah.
So how much broad your composition even materially is. When we think it spiritually, it is unimaginable. So local in the context of body, communication mind, and universal in the concept of your spirit that you should be. And both it can be connected. See, what has happened is that through United Nations, they are giving universal that voice. That means what is they are considering. Those who are making decision, no, you go and apply this into the local. It should be other way around. What is good for the local, that voice should reach there, and that should make provisions that this is preserved. That is the way. So that is a missing link. So local needs to be highlighted, and it has to be aligned through knowledge to the universe.
Again, it sounds the same as you said. Awareness, individual awareness, getting beyond that, and yeah, it's fantastic. And as a common man, and as a kid, I used to think that spirituality should be thought of like we have Balya, Yavana, and all. Finally, when you are in Vanaprastha only then you should think about spirituality. What do you say about it?
No, that is not correct. Spirituality should begin before birth. Really. If you want a good child to take birth through you, then parents should start sadhana. So, in a metaphorical, let me say, if you have become Dasarath and Kaushalya, Rama will be born to you. So you have made preparations for him already in your womb. So this should become, because it is not something which is for your this birth only. It is for ever. And it is the only thing from spiritually looking at for which you are here, that you attain to your full potential. So it should begin as early as possible, but spirituality. Because why should one wait for the last, who knows when one is going to pass away? How much life will last? So why should we lose that opportunity? But it should begin as early as possible, but in right doses, right way. Because you want to become your child real. Why should you wait that he should become real when he is 70 or 80? Why should he not become real from the very beginning? That will make a better human being. So it should become, if you are considering it real, then as early as possible should be initiated, and it should keep growing more and more. So, but as we said, it is never early and it is never too late. It is not somebody, they have another, I have meet another kind of people. Now it is too late. I am 70 or 80, and next birth only I will do now, so this has gone, lost. So that is also not correct. So long as you have breathing, you are breathing, you have an opportunity, because it doesn't take one moment if you are ready. And so long, as early as possible. Early you start, more contributing you become to the world. So these are the two definable boundaries that if we are considering it real, then we should definitely.
Yeah, there's always been a belief that spirituality is very different from the human regular family world. So that's why maybe we all wanted to differentiate between.
That is where Sahaj Smriti Yoga comes. We are saying it is mostly focused at family people, that it doesn't this thing interfere with your life, whatever you are doing. If you are asking only 1 hour, if you can give, even less, to yourself, if you give that 1 hour to yourself, rest 23 hours, you will function better. That you can compare earlier and now. If you have a mind, sound mind, one can compare that earlier, before doing sadhana, before getting initiated, and now, have I become a different individual? So you serve your family, your society, yourself better by giving that 1 hour. Or 23 hours become much more productive. So, because spirituality says what is good for you, that is good for all. And what is not good for you, not good for all, vice versa. It has to be something is spiritual, it has to be all round good. It cannot happen that this is good for me, not for you. That is opinion. Spirituality means reality. This is good for all. Everybody for. Otherwise, how we call it universal? How can we call it all pervasive? It is good for all. So sooner it should become, there is no such thing that family its a hindrance is there. It is in fact most conducive to the family environment, because most of your tapasya happens in family. All kinds of relations you are dealing with, all kinds of problems. So you get tested and you know what tapas is. So this is your tapas in today's life.
Well, speaking of Ram, suddenly one thing came to my mind, because we speak about local deities, local symbols, and monkeys are worshipped here. And when it comes to, because I've named my son Vali,
Okay.
so why was Vali demonized? Because we believe, because in nature monkeys live in packs, and the strongest male gets to mate with all the females of the pack, because they are looking at the strong generation after their generation. So they are looking for spreading their best gene pool forward. So why was Vali demonized for doing that? And a human world rule was imposed upon, because this is, we are speaking about ecology. Human world rules were imposed upon monkey world. Why was that done in Ramayana?
See, first of all, this narratives which we say it is monkey, it is not correct. Because now, when you say Vanar, you say Vanar. Nar means being. So we are speaking of human beings only, but maybe little less educated at that point of time. So there, what we call morality, this is society specific. You are rightly saying, but when you get educated, certain things maybe your parents are following you now, as you were to your earlier question, the ritual and tradition. With the knowledge, now you think, no, this is not. This is what it was not meant, or you were. Now I can follow it better way. So one way of looking at this, because this is a very different topic, because it will lead to, when you speak of the Ramayana and Mahabharata, there are stories behind it. In earlier birth, who was he, what he did, what mistake he made, then this karma came. So we get going into the wills and wills, and ultimately what we come to the knowledge that if you do karma, you will have to undergo the bhoga. That will be the result. Any story you pick up, if you do the correct karma, you will go. Irrespective of the world, your journey will be as it should be. So that sense, but taking a today's perspective, that is how we see, and then we close it there. That something we are not trying to impose. He said this is what the humanity is evolving. These are new values, like this caste system we call it. We know this was a profession. Somebody was doing this profession, he doesn't become any less to you because of the profession. Later on, Britishers called it caste, and they say, oh, it sounds good, they are doing this is a dirty job, and then they demonized it. So same way in that context, if you see something new, this civilization is evolving, new rules are there, that you look on a better civilized way. So that has been not even that time, even before that also. It is through somebody's awareness only that new rules came. One wife, one husband rule. It was, somebody found it is better for a civilized society. So they slowly when the civilization evolved. So if we start seeing it was subjugated, he did not follow his value, then we are not letting ourselves evolve. Today, as a sane human being, we think would have been right that your younger brother's wife is there, and you discard him and you say, now we will take care of it. And though we say, no, this should not have been done. So what is today? From that consciousness, we should try to revisit. Otherwise, we will become opinionated and there will be division. Anyway, what has happened there, it is not going to do anything here now.
Yeah.
So that is called becoming wise. That you take best what has happened in the past. Now, whether Vali was my ancestors or yours, how do you know? You take this position, I take another position, there will be trouble. So they are our ancestors. Wherever they were in the world, they are our ancestors. They did something. Now we are finding this is good at this time. Let us move on with this.
Yeah, why I came up with that question was everything looks interrelated to me, because ecology, preserving the environment. Just now we actually celebrated the Environment Day also. So we being a part of it. So as you said, as you rightly said, we are the problem and we are the answer to the problem also. So yeah, it's a nice thing that we have to start looking into ourselves, finding ourselves, giving us ourselves some time to think about ourselves.
Yeah.
Increasing the awareness that we have, I think will do a big impact in protecting the environment. I was just looking at all these stories around us, what impact they've had on us, and how are they relevant today? I was just wondering if they are relevant, if at all they are relevant. Do we have to still keep looking at those things?
See, examples are important. Today, through your own life, what you are putting in society, you don't know how it is going to be read later on.
Yeah.
But other people are seeing, no, this is valuable being done. Now, with all those things which were in your mind, still you took the courage and you did what you felt, no, this is worth doing. I know how many things you would have to be faced with when you are doing such a thing. What all kinds of, even to those you mean to help, they also sometimes you feel antagonizing, and it's all sort of things. But in your heart, you know you mean their welfare. And that heart always wins. That is the mystery of human heart. When you have somebody else's welfare more than your own, that once this person, he should benefit something, not whatever. If he benefits, then only I am benefiting. This is the real way of looking. That's why I say parmarth.
Yeah.
And so all this has always been related to the ecology. As they say, no, that Sant Bitab Sarita Girdharani. There's saints, trees, and mountains, and land. Parhit lag saban ke kar. They are only born for the others' benefit. The students. So when we are going with that, then this example which is being put, this is more important than what happened earlier. Because now it is going to influence people's life. They will take courage, no, when such a person having an excellent career, still he is dipping his hand into the mud and doing something. There must be something else. Then they take the courage, no, we should also do something for farmers, and that is how the change happens. So change from this pinda only it has to begin, because all what I have saying, you are 16% in one. It begins with the first. If it is not there, how are you going to realize those other 15?
Yes.
So this, if it is put in proper place and with proper conviction and clarity, then rest takes care of it.
With all these, when we spoke about the power centers, the gurus and the politicians who come to the gurus, where what for? How can the gurus influence the people in power?
Yes,
because that becomes very important, those are the legislation makers, those are the policy makers.
Very good question, very relevant question, and that's very simple answer. A spiritual person's role is, if they are real spiritual person, just be. They are like light. You come, you see light, then you take whatever you want. They are not. They are just there to state the principle at best. They are not to give their opinion. That is the job of politicians. They are the rulers. So they should not interfere with one another. When any spiritual person tries to cow down or influence the politician, you see, any example you read history, repercussions will be felt. Same way if a person whose profession, because it is what the dharma bhrashtata is called. It is not anything else. Your profession is this. You can change profession anytime. But you cannot mix the two, because this will not give clarity to the people.
Yes.
So if you are in the ruler's place, you know the politics, how it should come. You go to a spiritual person to get the light, that you get clarity. He states principle, that this is the principle. In practical terms, how you apply in policy, this is your work. I am not going to say anything about it. And if something is inside, some ego or something is working, and you want to experience the power. Look, despite being a religious or mathadis or powerful, I can influence even politicians. That is where the wrong things happen. So long as they keep their dignity, once you become spiritual, your role is just to state the principle and do the work. Let people take according to their own light, you just state the principle. Do not interfere in anything. Your role is all the time, be it most powerful or be it deprived of power at all, for both spiritual principle is same, nyaya, that you are supposed to do without any bias. What is the role of a politician or ruler? Without bias, you serve to the one who voted you and who voted against you. That is why the secrecy of vote. So you have to be clear to both. So as a spiritual person, they should just state the principle at best. And if politicians or power rulers, they are sensitive enough, he need not even state the principle. He just sit there and you get an answer and go. They should maintain that kind of persona. That is how I would say.
We used to have such personalities before, but nowadays it is very rare to find such personalities. Nice talking to you.
Yes, you ask the questions which are from your heart and very clear question. These are question people are running in their head and they want clarity.